The rain was relentless that night in Seattle, mirroring the storm brewing inside me. Bertram, a 44-year-old architect, had always prided myself on my ability to design structures that were both beautiful and strong, foundations that could withstand anything. Little did I know, the foundation of my own life was about to crumble. My wife, Isolde, a vibrant and successful marketing executive, had been my rock for 15 years. We met at a gallery opening. I was captivated by her infectious laughter and her eyes that seemed to hold the secrets of the universe. We built a life together, a comfortable existence filled with love, laughter, and what I thought was unwavering trust. But lately, things had been different. Isolde had become distant, preoccupied. Late nights at the office were becoming more frequent, and her explanations were vague, almost rehearsed. I chalked it up to the pressures of her job, the demanding deadlines, the cutthroat corporate world she navigated with such grace. I wanted to be supportive, understanding. I didn't want to be the nagging, insecure husband. Then came the email. It was a simple mistake on her part, a moment of carelessness that would shatter my world. She had left her laptop open on the kitchen counter while she went to take a call. A notification popped up from her email account, a message from someone named Crispin. Curiosity, that insidious serpent, coiled in my gut. I knew I shouldn't, but I couldn't resist. I clicked on the email. The words swam before my eyes, each one a dagger twisting in my heart. "I can't stop thinking about last night," it read. "The way you felt in my arms, I know it's wrong, but I don't care. I want you, Isolde. I need you." I felt the blood drain from my face. My hands trembled as I scrolled through the rest of the email chain, each message a deeper plunge into the abyss of betrayal. They spoke of secret rendezvous, stolen moments, and a passion that was never meant for me. Crispin, I later learned, was a consultant working on a project at Isolde's firm, a smooth-talking, handsome charmer who had apparently swept my wife off her feet. The world tilted on its axis. Everything I thought I knew, everything I believed in, was a lie. My marriage, my love, my life, all a carefully constructed facade masking a devastating truth. Isolde came back into the kitchen, her face flushed from the phone call. She saw me staring at the laptop, the horror etched on my face. The color drained from her own cheeks. "Bertram," she began, her voice barely a whisper. "Don't," I said, my voice raw with pain. "Just don't." I couldn't bear to hear her lies, her excuses, her justifications. I needed to get out, to breathe, to escape the suffocating reality of her betrayal. I grabbed my coat and stumbled out into the rain, the cold drops a stark contrast to the burning rage that consumed me. I spent the next few hours wandering aimlessly through the city, the neon lights blurring through my tears. I replayed every moment of our marriage in my head, searching for clues, for signs that I had missed. Had I been blind? Had I been so caught up in my own world that I hadn't noticed the growing distance between us? The questions gnawed at me, relentless and unforgiving. I felt like a fool, a naive idiot who had been played for a sucker. The woman I loved, the woman I had given my heart and soul to, had been betraying me in the most intimate way imaginable. When I finally returned home, Isolde was waiting for me, her eyes red and swollen. "Bertram, I'm so sorry," she said, her voice trembling. "It just happened. I didn't mean for it to go this far, it just happened," I repeated, my voice laced with sarcasm. "You didn't mean for it to go this far. You were having an affair, Isolde. You were sleeping with another man. How can you say it just happened?" She tried to explain, to justify her actions, but I couldn't listen. Her words were meaningless, empty. The trust was gone, shattered beyond repair. I knew in that moment that our marriage was over. The following weeks were a blur of lawyers, paperwork, and bitter arguments. The house that had once been filled with love and laughter now echoed with silence and resentment. We divided our belongings, our memories, our lives. It was a painful, agonizing process, like tearing a limb from my body. As I started to rebuild my life, I couldn't shake the feeling of anger and betrayal. I knew I couldn't let Isolde's actions define me. I needed to find a way to move on, to heal, to reclaim my own happiness. That's when I decided to investigate Crispin. I hired a private investigator, a discreet and resourceful woman named Mallory, to dig into his background. I needed to know who this man was, the man who had destroyed my marriage. What Mallory uncovered was shocking. Crispin wasn't just a consultant. He was a con artist, a serial cheater who preyed on vulnerable women. He had a string of affairs behind him, leaving a trail of broken hearts and shattered lives in his wake. He was also involved in some shady business dealings, using his charm and charisma to manipulate people into investing in fraudulent schemes. Isolde, it turned out, wasn't his only victim. Armed with this information, I decided to take action. I contacted the authorities and provided them with the evidence Mallory had uncovered. Crispin was arrested and charged with fraud and embezzlement. His world, like mine, came crashing down around him. Isolde, devastated by the news of Crispin's true nature, reached out to me. She was broken, remorseful, and desperate for forgiveness. "I was so blind, Bertram," she said, her voice choked with tears. "I thought he loved me. I thought he was my escape from a life that had become stagnant, but he was just using me. He ruined everything." I looked at her, at the woman I had once loved so deeply, and I felt a pang of sympathy. She had been a victim too, albeit a willing one. But the pain she had caused me, the betrayal I had suffered, was still too raw, too deep to forgive. "I can't, Isolde," I said softly. "I can't forgive you. Maybe someday, but not now. Not ever." I walked away, leaving her standing there in the rain, a broken woman surrounded by the wreckage of her own choices. I didn't feel any satisfaction, any sense of victory. Only a profound sadness for what we had lost, for the dreams that had died. In the end, I found solace in my work, in my friends, and in the quiet moments of reflection. I learned that forgiveness is a process, not an event, and that sometimes the greatest act of self-love is to let go of the past and embrace the possibility of a new future. The rain still falls in Seattle, but now, when I look out the window, I see not a reflection of my pain, but a symbol of renewal, a reminder that even after the darkest storms, the sun will eventually shine again. I am ready to design a new foundation, one that is stronger and more resilient than before. A foundation built on self-respect, honesty, and the unwavering belief in my own worth. I hope you, the listener, will learn from my story. Infidelity is a cruel act that leaves scars that may never fully heal. If you find yourself in a similar situation, remember to prioritize your own well-being, seek support from loved ones, and never lose sight of your own worth. You deserve happiness, even after the most devastating betrayal.